Hey guys, what's up? It's Phoenix, and this is my first impressions video for Battlefield 3. I'm going to try and cover all aspects of the game, at least to an extent, and I'll be starting with the campaign. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because the campaign's not really the most important part of the multiplayer is, but there's 12 levels in total, with various different bits of gameplay. While I'm talking, I'm just going to be showing you a bit of footage from one of the early missions, which most of you should have already seen in the Operation Faultline gameplay trailer, which was released quite a while ago, so there shouldn't really be sort of any spoilers in this. I'm not going to touch on what the actual story involves or, what happens. What I will say is the campaign is alright. It's, it's nothing amazing or mind-blowing. It's not completely terrible. I've heard a lot of people saying it is terrible. I mean, I guess it's personal opinion. I didn't think it was that bad, but at the same time, I'm not exactly inclined to play it again and again and again because, it's pretty average. So yeah, I mean, I played it on hard, and the missions generally took me around sort of 25 minutes per level, although a few were a lot less, sort of 5-10 minutes, a few were a lot more, around 40-45 minutes. So I mean, the campaign will last you a little while. And in fact, the times I quoted there are the times it took to actually just do the levels. That didn't involve the, occasional deaths that you will get when you play on hard. So in fact, it actually takes a bit longer than that. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty standard campaign. There's a little bit of this, a portion of this, a small amount of this, and of course, Battlefield wouldn't be complete without vehicle gameplay, in particular the good old tanks. Moving on from the campaign, we're going to touch now on the co-op, which is quite a new thing for me in terms of Battlefield. There are in total 6 missions, which you will see in just a second here. They involve, again, a mixture of different styles of gameplay, and I'll touch on each of them briefly. In the first co-op mission, you have to protect a convoy of Humvees against a mixture of infantry and armour attacks. In the second mission, you are in a helicopter. One person plays as the helicopter pilot, the other person as the gunner, and you have to escort a couple of soldiers on a rescue mission to rescue some general, and they'll encounter again infantry units and various bits of armour, including things like AA guns, which will try and take you out, so you've got to obviously try and protect them, but also look after yourselves as well. The third mission, Exfiltration, involves quite a bit. There's a little bit of stealth, because you have to try and sneak into an area to rescue a guy who's defecting. There's then a bit of sort of nighttime sniping, and then you go into a bit of a Humvee section, which you can see here. And eventually then you have to hold off against an onslaught of enemies until you get, evacuated, or, evac, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the mission. The fourth mission, Hit and Run, is pretty straightforward. You've managed to break into some, special place, trying to recover some important intelligence, and a bunch of people have found you, and they're basically trying to kill you. So you have to fight your way out of this, massive office block, and escape with the intel in obviously your possession. The fifth mission is called Drop 'em Like Liquid, and it is a nighttime sniping mission. There's a lot of areas where you need to take out 2 targets at the same time, so it's really about teamwork, timing your shots, and making sure you basically kill them at the same time. But there's also a couple of other sections where you have to take out multiple opponents, not just 2 but several, and you have to essentially rescue a couple of hostages along the way. So yeah, that was a little bit different from some of the other ones. The final mission, the 11th hour, is pretty straightforward stuff. There's a bomb in a subway. You have to fight through a bunch of guys, get to the bomb and deactivate it. And then you also have to go and kill a guy at the end as well. So yeah, the co-op is quite interesting. You'll also see here that there's like a chain of missions. Initially you can only do the first 2 missions, and then that will unlock the 3rd mission. When you do the 3rd mission, that unlocks the 4th and 5th missions, and when you obviously do the 4th and 5th missions, that unlocks the 6th mission for you. The co-op is alright, you know, it's a bit like the Spec Ops things from Modern Warfare, but it's quite enjoyable. And another nice thing is that it also does have unlocks as well. So by doing the co-op missions, you can unlock weapons to use in the multiplayer game. On that subject, we'll now move on to arguably the most important part of Battlefield 3, which is the multiplayer. Now, one thing I will say is that at the minute, it seems the matchmaking is pretty messed up. Quick match, you're supposed to be able to search obviously different game modes, different maps and stuff, but at least at the moment there are a lot of issues with quick matchmaking. It just doesn't seem to find games properly. I'm sure that DICE will fix that, but for the time being it has been quite frustrating. A server browser is certainly a new thing for me, as I've only played Battlefield Bad Company 2 before. It's quite interesting. You can search for different numbers of players, different game types like Conquest, Rush, all that kind of stuff. It lists them all in various orders, and you can search things like your servers your friends are on, historic servers that you've played on before, your favourite ones. Here you see the actual search function, so you can choose all these different sort of maps, game types, whether it's normal, hardcore, infantry based. And at the minute, that is your best way of finding matches right now. That said, there is still one little problem, in that when you click on a match, it can originally in the menu say like 16 out of 24 for number of players, but by the time you've actually clicked on it, that number could be up to 22 or even 23 out of 24, which can make finding games with any more than one or two people quite difficult. That said, when the match and when the games actually do work, it is a lot of fun. It's your kind of standard Battlefield fare, at least. It's not that different from Bad Company 2 in my eyes. You still got the squad systems, you still got your different classes, although a few of them have changed a little bit between like support and assault. They've kind of mixed around between medic and assault a little bit. You still got your vehicles, you've now got jets and choppers, light armour, heavy armour, loads of unlocks, and the customization of your weapons and stuff is just ridiculous, and I'll touch on that in a bit. When I go through the sort of menus in a minute. There's a lot of maps. I'm still even getting used to them. I still haven't actually played it as much as I probably should have done, so I'm still getting used to the maps myself. But yeah, I mean, so far, when I do manage to get into games, I am really enjoying it. The only thing at the minute is getting into games is difficult, but like I say, I'm sure DICE will get that sorted, get quick match working, and hopefully before long we'll be playing games with, all my mates, and just generally having a really good time. So yeah, that is pretty much the kind of multiplayer side of it. It is just really, really good, as you would expect from Battlefield, at least I think it is anyway. So yeah, next I'm going to go into the menus to finish off. These are really in-depth. If you go into my soldier, you can see your stats, so things like what your best weapon is, what your best vehicle is, what ribbons you've unlocked, how long you've played for. There's loads of different stuff in there. You can go down to my progression, which will show you how far you are towards unlocking your next weapons or add-ons or different customization options. Talking customization, this is where you can customize so many different parts of your sort of arsenal. If you go into each individual class, you can choose your main weapon, and you can customize the add-ons for your main weapon. So you see I have switched to the M16 to show you what you can have here. You can have things like ACOG scope, red dot sights, you can have underslung rails for adding grenade launchers, grips to help aim more accurately, heavy barrels, torches, laser sights. I mean, there's loads of options. I haven't unlocked much on this one, so you can't see much of it here, but there's loads of different guns. Obviously, different classes use different guns. Assault tends to stick with assault rifles, engineers with carbines, support with LMGs, and snipers, obviously recons with snipers. And there's also a load of all-kit guns, which are basically shotguns and SMGs predominantly. You've got loads of different pistols. You've got things like your gadgets, which would involve your ammo kits, health packs, grenade launchers. Depends again what class you play in. And down the bottom you've got your specializations, which are things like your sprint or lightweight if you're talking Bad Company 2. Extra ammo, extra grenades, usual stuff. And you can even unlock team-based stuff, or squad-based stuff rather. So you can unlock squad sprint, so everyone in your squad can benefit from sprint. So if you get 4 people working with those squad things, that could be really useful. You can also customize your tanks, so you can have like zoom optics, smoke, different weapons, faster reloads. You get loads of different options there. Same goes for your infantry vehicles, mobile AAs, and obviously planes and choppers and stuff as well. The dog tags have been done quite interestingly this time. You get loads of different customization options for your own dog tags, but it will also show you how many times you've unlocked off of other people. So you'll see sometimes this one here is greyed out, but you can see that it's got a name of someone who I've taken it off of. There's another one just next to me there, Master Zombie, thanks very much, I took that dog tag off you. Another one here, Conquest Winner, or Conquest Ribbon for Gangsters 1017, nice gamer tag, not. So the dog tags are quite interesting. You can customise the front and the back, and it's got a good record of all your different, dog tags that you've taken and unlocked. And then this is the co-op section where it shows you your co-op stats, and again the unlocks for these. Some of these weapons are pretty good, some of them aren't anything special, but it is a good incentive to keep playing the co-op because you can unlock some really nice weapons towards the end there. And then the other stuff is just pretty standard fare really. You've got over here your friends menu by pushing start. That will show you everyone who's playing Battlefield 3, everyone who's online, and if you're in a party at the time it will show you who's in your party, and once you've squadded up it will also show you right at the top who is in your squad at the time. I'm going to be honest now, I think I actually preferred Bad Company 2's way of squadding up because I just think it was more obvious. Battlefield 3 I'm not such a fan of. But I suppose it works. The store, obviously, much like Bad Company 2, is where you can buy all your DLC, download trailers, and of course, when it comes out, the Back to Kark and map pack should be in here, which I should be getting for free as I got the limited edition, so that should be quite cool. And yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the menus. You can obviously go into your options and choose your sensitivities and stuff. The Battlefield's quite useful. Once you go to battlelog.battlefield.com, as it says there, there's a load of really in-depth stats, kill death ratios, accuracy, unlocks. You can join platoons, friend people, chat with people. There's so much functionality. It's really, really good. And you get a sort of snapshot of your battlefield on your main menu there. Well, then that's pretty much it for me. Battlefield 3 is really good so far. Gonna give it probably a 8 or 9 out of 10. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. Bye bye.